This mini-movie is a mystery and thriller/sci-fi starring Emily Baldoni, where 8 friends reunited over a dinner party as a comet passed by chance and challenged their realities. Try guessing the Rotten Tomatoes score by the end. There will be spoilers. Let's get started. Our movie opens with a night view from the backseat of a moving car as the turn signal chimes. Emily Prime, the blonde woman driving, was on a call with her boyfriend, Kevin. As the call ended, her phone suddenly cracked. Then, she arrived at a suburban house in Northern California owned by Mike and his partner, Lee. The group was gathered around a table to prepare food for dinner and idly talked about the Miller's comet passing by chance on that same night. As they caught up, Beth, Emily's close friend, mentioned that Laurie, a long, black-haired vixen who likes wearing tight dresses, was coming. She was an old flame of Emily's boyfriend. Clear-cut shock with a mix of disappointment can be sensed in Emily's tone. In light of this news, Beth lightly offered her concoction that contains ketamine, a horse tranquilizer, to Emily, which she did not take. The doorbell rang and Hugh, Beth's husband, and Emily's boyfriend arrived. Emily and her boyfriend were discussing on the couch as she sipped wine. He asked her to accompany him on a business trip in Vietnam and demanded an answer that night. As she nervously fixed her hair, she asked for a little bit more time to think it through. Before she answered, Amir, one of their friends who invited the vixen, disturbed the uncomfortable silence and arrived with his company. Transitioning to the actual dinner, Beth's husband opened the conversation about a past comet in Finland. Emily had read about it and got into a detailed discussion of what happened in 1923. It affected the people, had them forget things, and they got lost. She shared a story of a woman who reported that the man in her house is not her husband. She was certain of it because she killed him the day before. Despite the simple and straightforward confession, she was not arrested because her husband was standing there with her. As the night carried on, they talked like kids camping at night, sharing horror stories. Then, the black-hair vixen probed Emily for losing an understudy opportunity for overthinking it. Beth's husband cut the strained moment by making a toast and they clinked their glasses. Out of the blue, his phone cracked too. Soon, they realized that there was no means for communication as there were no landlines, working phones, or internet. Lights went out. Voices overlapped in the pitch-black room. They set candles alight and the homeowner brought out boxes of glow sticks. He snapped a blue one and they all went outside. The whole neighborhood experienced a raw moonless nighttime and saw a house with power 2 blocks away. They looked up and saw the passing of the Miller's comet with its lingering tail in the blank sky. Beth's husband told everyone that Brian, his brother, instructed him to stay inside while the comet is still on its course. He wanted to call his brother by coming over to the only house with power and asking for help. He went there with Amir. As the group waited for them to come back, they were even more rattled by a loud, solid knocking on the side door. As they dispersed around the room to check who it could be, heavy breathing arose along with the tension. This was relieved when they did not see anyone behind the door. They brought back the light when they powered a generator. After roughly 10 minutes since Beth's husband and Amir left, Beth suggested that they find them. This was halted when the doorbell abruptly rang. The 2 guys returned with distressed faces and a white metal box, and Hugh with blood on his right brow. The homeowner picked the lock and opened the box. Inside, they found a ping-pong paddle, and their solo pictures labeled with numbers in red at the back. Beth's husband revealed that when he peeked through the window, he saw wine glasses, candles, and a dinner set for 8 people. No one answered the front door, so he banged on the side door. This was exactly what happened to them a while ago. Still, Beth's husband insisted he come back to the house, trying his best to contact his brother, and only leave a note if no one was inside. As the group was distracted by the recent unanticipated events, Emily's boyfriend, with a baseball bat in his hand, opened the door and found a note, the same one that Beth's husband was writing. Everyone fell into a deeper shock and confusion. The homeowner forwarded a notion that they go to the house a couple of blocks in distance to see their theoretical selves. In the hopes of finding something, Emily, her boyfriend, the vixen, and the homeowner ventured out with only their glow sticks in their hands. Suspenseful music played as they inched towards the other house. The homeowner recognized that house as his. He peeped through the window, but Emily alerted them that someone else was also out on the streets. Walking back to their house, they came across themselves but with red glow sticks. They only stared at each other, standing on opposite sides of the road. They paused for a while, not exchanging words but restless breathing, then hurried back to their houses. They told their friends what happened, and that they went through a dark zone, much darker than the rest of the surroundings. Beth's husband and Amir went through it as well when they were out. The group, desperate for answers, finds a book on quantum physics to help shed light on these peculiar events. Beth's husband and Emily's boyfriend fetched a book left by Brian in their car. In between the pages, they found his notes on decoherence on Schrödinger's cat. It is a thought experiment where a cat is placed inside a box with something that could kill it, such as poison. One would never know if it is alive or dead without opening the box. Brian was arguing that the separate realities of having the cat alive and dead at the same time were existent inside that very box. Opening it would allow these events to collapse into a single one. The homeowner likened them to the cat inside the box. They have two separate realities while the comet was passing. So long that they kept their distance from the other versions of themselves, they will remain in their own reality. Meanwhile, his partner was asleep all this time. But the homeowner saw her in the other house with Beth's husband and Amir, implying that both realities are not exactly the same. Beth could be the one napping in the other house, which meant that they had not retrieved the book. They insinuated that they steal their book to avoid them from having the same conversation and being killed by their counterparts. The homeowner told Emily's boyfriend about his attempt to stop the others from retrieving the book. He wanted to blackmail himself by leaving a letter about his affair with Beth 12 years ago. The homeowner's partner awoke and caught up with the group. Apparently, she dozed off because she took drops of Beth's concoction. Emily asked Beth if she had put drugs on their food, a hopeless call for explanation to their paranoia. She dropped a few on the food but claimed it was watered down. Going back to the dining room, Amir and Beth's husband pulled red glow sticks from their pockets, masquerading the entire time since they got back. They brought the box and the book and went back to their house. Later, Beth happened to catch the vixen flirting with Emily's boyfriend, leaning so closely in the unlit side of the room. Their lips met only to part when he pulled away. Beth hinted that a moment brewed between them, but as Emily was about to confront him, the lights went out for the second time. Their gasps and shrieks were in sync. While setting up the candles, a car window shattered outside, which they looked into together as a group. Back in the house, Beth's husband and Amir with blue glow sticks returned. Hugh revealed that he was not able to leave the notes, but still, the two houses received 2 notes. This baffled them further and hinted that another version of them may exist apart from the two. To dial down the confusion, they planned to mark their house by doing something random. Because they are the blue house, they arranged a box with their pictures, marked them with a blue marker, and a random object, a ceramic coaster. Emily deduced that a dark zone is a place one passes through only to end up in another branch of reality. After passing through, no one comes back the same. Suddenly, a bang on the door broke the silence. They received the homeowner's blackmail letter. Beth's husband was angered by the revelation and their conversation shifted to shouting and further confusion. The homeowner told him that he can rage all he wanted, but in every reality that existed, the homeowner had slept with his wife. As the mood calmed, the homeowner with a green glow stick busted through the door and blew punches on the other homeowner. He is left unconscious on the floor. blood ran down Beth's nose, which triggered a panic attack in the vixen. While panic insisted, Emily took the note stuck on the front door and went out. She glanced at every house and opened boxes, only to confirm there were far more than just 4 realities. She killed the versions of herself in the realities where she tried to fit in. As the movie nears its end, Emily collapsed and woke up the next day on the couch. The comet passed. Everything seemed normal, like the unworldly events were a distant memory. With the possibilities of multiple realities, will you look for a world you best fit in? Coherence was released in 2013 and critics gave it an 88% tomato score, 81% by the audience, and Moovies rates it 7 out of 10 doggy treats. If you enjoyed this mini movie, you can support the movie by watching Coherence or hitting the like button.